Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graeme Spice, and Glen Howie, where we talk about all things Tottenham Hotspur from both a match attending and international supporters view. Because it's currently the summer break between the end of the last season and the new season, we decided to do some World Cup specials, and this is our second one. And we're very pleased to welcome Howie, who's a returning guest to the podcast, who has an interesting, obviously both being a USA supporter, but also having a Brazilian wife as well. So a lot of interest in different matches there. And of course, between all of us, we've got 3 different time zones covered. And we'd like to talk a little bit about what the viewing experience is like, because I think it's very different depending on where you are in the world right now.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
So Glenn, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good, really good, because as you just touched on, my viewing experience is incredible. And as our viewers, listeners, and Graeme would full well know, that is not the case for Premier League and regular football for me. So I am loving it. I get the odd really shit kickoff, but there's only been 2 so far, and they're like 2 a.m. because that's noon on the East Coast. But my days are a 5 or a 6 a.m., a 8 or a 9 a.m., a 10 or 11 a.m., sometimes a noon, sometimes there was a 2 p.m. the other day. There's a 2 p.m. over the weekend. So I'm really good.
I don't understand the timing of the matches. It's just all over the place.
Very all over the place. It's very all over the place.
No, we've got matches starting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock in the morning. And everything in between. What a swing.
I'm excellent. The tournament's underway. I'm glad the football has actually been pretty good quality from what you've been able to see of it, Graeme. I know we've been messaging you. You've caught the odd game.
I've done a lot of highlights because at some stage I need my beauty sleep. But I watched a few games. I even saw a bit of the Korea match, which was the one that was on at 3 a.m, mostly because I couldn't sleep. I think it was after we did the last podcast recording, and then I was like, I might as well watch it now. I'm still awake.
Well, it's been like I touched on, and I want to be very careful on not diminishing the very real issues there have been leading up to this World Cup and probably still exist. But I'm very happy the football has started. I'm happy the quality of the football has been good. I just finished the Bosnia-Switzerland game, and there were some absolute banging goals in that game. I don't know if the Bosnian goal was a great volley. But no, I'm very good. I'm enjoying the tournament, but less about me, more about our guest, Howie. Welcome, mate. You are amongst it. You're in the States. You're in Colorado. First off, Howie, how are you, and how are you feeling about both the USA after seeing them? And tell us about your viewing experience as well.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for the invite. Super excited to be back on. So first of all, I'm feeling fantastic. The USA just came out flying in this World Cup. We'll hit more on that later. I've got a multicultural family, so we've got a number of Brazil jerseys to choose from every game that I can wear. And my wife and both of my kids, they're grown boys, 19 and 21, but they're Brazilian American citizens. And citizens in both countries. So we go to watch parties for both countries. And we had a big, so the U.S. match, we actually had just flown back from vacation. So we watched that at home together. And then Saturday, we went to a Brazilian gathering here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And there were probably about 45 people. I'd say about 25 to 30 were Brazilians and the other 15 were Americans. But we were, I wish Brazil would have scored more, because the goal they did score was it's one of the most fun things I've experienced. So it was great.
No, awesome.
So, high flying.
And then with your kind of watching of the games, and obviously, well, first off, are you attending any, Howie? Did you get tickets for any, mate?
No, I didn't really hit on the timing of the games.
Yeah, please share, because obviously I'm sure you're trying to try and balance in work and whatnot.
I mean, it's catered to, a lot of these are catered to different parts of the States, but I mean, like tomorrow, 1 o'clock kickoff, 4 o'clock, 6:30 and 8 p.m. So, I mean, it's obviously, perfect over here, but yeah. So, and I'm sorry, Ask me the last question again.
Just if you were attending, did you get tickets to any games?
Okay, so yeah.
Because I know there are a few left, because I keep getting emails from FIFA saying, apply for
Yeah.
last minute. And I'm like, no, I don't want to remortgage my house.
Right. Well, I think you know that I've been to 4 World Cups, and I've never had any. I bet was it the U.S. '94. I followed the U.S. team in '98 in France. Went to those matches. I went to Brazil in '14.
Yeah.
I saw the U.S. a knockout game against Belgium, and then I went to Russia in '18, even though the U.S. wasn't there. I've never had problems getting tickets. I've always gone through the lottery system and always had an opportunity to buy them. So this, I've chosen not to chase the $2,000 ticket up to this point. But what I will say is I left my entire, World Cup summer open in case I decide, to pick a game and go, right?
Probably smart.
If I get an opportunity, and I'm trying to, we'll see how the U.S. does against Australia tomorrow, but I may, try to pick a game and guess where they might be in the knockout round and just buy a ticket and see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
But it's more likely I'm going to wait until I know where they're going to be in the knockouts, because I really want to go to a knockout game.
Yeah, well, in Brazil, I took that approach with England, and it didn't end so well for me. I ended up seeing Costa Rica in the knockout game, thinking it was England, and we were on the plane going home. So
right, yeah.
Great stuff, mate. And look, pivoting to the US, I watched that game live. That was an 11 a.m. kickoff for me. Graham, did you happen to watch it?
I didn't see it all. I did see some of it, though.
For me, I was messaging with some mates, Tottenham fans, that had Pochball written all over it. They were pressing together. They were collective. They were aggressive. They weren't letting Paraguay settle. A wonderful performance. I'm so intrigued, Howie. I want to now see the US against a big team and a good team, just to see, was this, because everyone was saying, well, Paraguay was so poor, but Paraguay aren't a shit team. Like, they've done okay over the years. Yeah. So it's whet the appetite for me to see more of Pochball. And look, I've got a mixed, as you know, Lindsay's American, kids were born in America. We've got 3 passports, Australia, US, UK. Yeah. My allegiance will always be England, but obviously I want to see the host do well. I'd like to see America kind of achieve some things. But where does because you're a football man, Howie. You watch football a bloody long time. You're one of your sons plays at a decent level. Yep. Where do you sit on the US chances? Like, are you thinking quarterfinal, last 16 would be an achievement, or are you looking beyond that? Or where do you see them going in this World Cup?
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure until last week, because I felt like, to me, a lot of American fans couldn't really understand where Poch was going with this team leading up to the World Cup. Now, we had some decent performances. We had some not so, against Belgium and Portugal, everybody thought we were going to be a disaster. But then, starting in late May, we had the Senegal fixture where we looked very good. We had the Germany fixture where we also looked pretty good. And then of course last week against Paraguay, we just, Pochball, glory days, right? So, I think Poch and his coaching staff, they know what they're doing, they know what they wanted, and the team they wanted to create. And I heard a podcast with Tim Payne, actually, while I was walking my dog this morning, and he said that the team is like extremely close, extremely happy, that they're all like feeling, energized about this cup. So, to me, it reminds me a little bit back of the, when the U.S. women rode the World Cup to the final back in 2000. Yeah. I don't think we're going to the final, but you can already feel the non-soccer fans or the fringe fans are already starting to jump on board. Right. And so every victory, every step we take, I just think there's going to be so much momentum from a fan perspective and also for the team that, I'd like to see quarterfinals, and I'm not going to rule that out. But I think once we get to that level, you've got to beat somebody really good. And maybe even in the round of 16, right?
It's funny. I was messaging with a mate back home, and I can see the US doing similar to what Wales did in Euro 2016. with a collective spirit.
Yeah.
And do they have amazing players? I mean, what was his name, Graham? Hal Robson-Kanu, who didn't even have a club in Euro 2016. And he looked like prime Pele. It's like, but they just had this collective spirit, and it took them a long way.
Do you also think that I think this is probably the longest that he's had the group of players together as well, right? Since I don't know when they started the training camp.
I think 3 weeks ago.
So it must be quite difficult for him normally because, of course, the players are flying from all over the place to come and play in the US.
Yeah.
So I think he's, as we know from experience, his training is rigorous and they do double sessions. So they will come into this very fit. They might all be dead by the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this feels like a Poch team already.
Yeah. Yes.
It's quite interesting to see the pressing and the energy in the team would really carry them on quite a long way, I think.
Yeah.
We got, obviously, it was tough when I was messing with Graeme. Like, there's so much that's happened. So we've got a fair bit to kind of cover as well. But I want to ask you one question, Howie. Tomorrow's game against Australia, where do you sit, mate? And then, Graeme, I'd like to get your view on the gentleman we were talking about offline. But where do you sit on a prediction for the game against Australia, Howie? You see a win, or do you think it could be different?
Well, I don't know. I think I don't feel like it's a guaranteed win. I think a draw might end up being a good result for both teams. I honestly think either team could win. I went to the so-called friendly against Australia. I believe it was last year at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Denver. And what I remember is they had some athletic wingers, a giant center back, maybe two of them. I don't remember. And I unfortunately didn't watch the Australia-Turkey A game the other day because it was past my bedtime. But
it was 2 p.m. kickoff for me. It was prime.
Well, it was literally like 10 o'clock at night, but I was so wiped out from the day. I couldn't say it. I should have rewatched it.
Was it?
But I of course I feel confident because I feel like, even there's a question about whether or not Christian Pulisic will play. I personally think if he doesn't, that's okay, because this team has players that are ready and willing to step in, right?
Yeah.
And I think the squad was built so that if somebody needs to take a day off, they can take a day off. So I'm pretty confident that if we come out there, I think Australia's going to probably cause us some challenges. They're going to look at what we did well in the first game, and we're going to look at what they did well in the first game. And it's going to, hopefully we come out on top, and our coaching staff is, prepared us to do so. But it's going to be a battle. Australia's not afraid of us. Australia's not afraid of us, and we're not afraid of them.
Well, and I was reading on The Athletic, there's a bit of sporting rivalry that goes all the way back to the tennis from like 30 years ago, I think. On that, there's actually a bit of rivalry there. Graeme, you're going to come in there with a point, mate.
I was just about the Australia-Turkey match. I thought Australia didn't have that many chances, but they took. I think they had about 4 chances and took 2 of them. So and I thought Turkey weren't great either. I think it was quite disappointing. And I was just something else you mentioned, Howie, about the games in the lead up to this. Specifically Belgium and Portugal. Yeah. Well, they've both had really slow starts to the tournament. Yeah. So maybe they peaked too early and America's peaking at exactly the right time.
Yeah, what you want. Yeah. Well, Graeme, before we move over to our love of England and our game, you wanted to cover, there's a bit of needle in the game between Australia and USA. Someone's stoking the fire, right? And you've got the story.
Yeah, is it Mike Grella? He's an ex-pro, right? He's one of the summarizers on, is he on which?
Fox,
I don't know which. Is it on Fox? I don't know. Anyway, he was very derogatory about the Australia team, and it was number one.
Don't do that to an Aussie living here.
Number one, he wasn't exactly a world beater himself. So he's got a very big mouth for someone with a very short resume, and. So I think it was a stupid thing to do because it's just written the pre-match speech for the manager for the Australian team. He's just got to show him that video, and they won't need any more motivation after that. Stupid.
Yeah, and Australia, I watched that Turkey game and they soaked up pressure really well, and then they were clinical. Tell you what, a mad stat: 10 of the 11, that was their first ever World Cup game, and they really performed well.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive stat. Well, Graeme, pivoting to our love, England. It was actually a reasonable kickoff for you, right? Was it 9 p.m.?
Yeah, 9. I think the next game was 9 as well. It's next Tuesday, isn't it? The next one for me. Anyway, Wednesday for you.
Howie, I'll get your read in a minute if you were able to see our game. But we have always been somewhat juries out on Tuchel as far as not his credentials, not that he's not a good manager, just how will someone who's been very successful at club level fare in a tournament? I really like him. I'm liking what he's saying. I've been impressed with the performance. I think there's a few little tweaks we need to make at the back, maybe, and I would have probably personally started Mark Gay over John Stones. But going forward,
I think that's the most common change I think I see.
Yeah. But Graeme, going forward, and like I was looking when it was 3-2, and lo and behold, we've got a manager who's bringing on 3 attacking players. And so I thought,
just imagining that the last tournament, it would have been packing the midfield and the defence with as many defensive players as you could.
And there was even a little tweak when Rice went off. He dropped Reece James into the centre of midfield, and Jed Spence came on, and that's where
he was really effective. He nearly scored as well, didn't he?
Stretched the play. So I was really, really impressed with England. I thought it was. I read a BBC. There was a headline saying we haven't seen an England like this at a major tournament for a long time in terms of just on the front foot. We needed that win to get off to a good start. Howie, did you see the England game?
I had an incredibly busy day. And so I didn't, first of all, I was very happy to see my mate, Harry Kane, score a couple. I did see a couple of Jude Bellingham's runs. I mean, he's a special player.
Oh, he's complete, isn't he? He is complete package.
And then all of my chats, on the Tottenham side were, they're raving about Jed Spence.
Yeah. Yeah. I love to see him come on. And I think, I really like Tuchel's comments afterwards as well about it being, it's the squad. It's as much who finishes a game as who starts it.
I think the depth as well. I mean, the players we brought on, there was no drop-off, was there? I think, if anything, we pushed on after we...
I said it on the 4th goal. I called it sexy football, because if you watch it back, it starts in our right-back area, and there's little triangles and give and goes, and we just make our way up the pitch. It was really, really nice to watch. It was like, I haven't seen an England team do that for
I think it was a bit of a rude awakening for Vuskovic, wasn't it?
Do you know what's funny, Graeme? Not to make this too much about Tottenham, but I saw an interesting tweet from Billy T, who's on Arsenal, and he said we should not be being dictated to by a 19-year-old. If that's a bit of a humbling for him. He didn't look amazing, but nevertheless, I don't propose that we sell him. I think we loan him again.
No, likewise.
Yeah.
I will say that I've got Tuesday's England match already scheduled at the pub, so I'm not missing out.
Good man.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, moving away from America, Australia, and England, but Graeme, the one story I did want to touch on was Cape Verde. I mean, so that was one of the games.
I saw about the last 20 minutes of that one.
Yeah, because it was 5 p.m. kickoff for you, and that was And you know what's funny? It was 2 a.m. for me, right? So I was like, if there's any game that I really don't care about being in the middle of the night, I'm going to be asleep. It's Spain versus Cape Verde. I thought it was going to be about 10-0.
Yeah.
And I woke up and there was another game about to start, and I thought, I'll just put the highlights on just to see how many Spain score. And I didn't know the score. So I did the little 5-minute highlight, and I'm like, they're scoring a minute. They're scoring a minute. And I was like, amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. Yeah. And there's been little sub-stories. The mother, I don't know if you've seen it, but one of the...
She wasn't allowed in.
Yeah, so they've managed to sort out which is great to hear, right? So his mum's able to be there now, and that keeper is 40 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, just
do you know we talked about the New Zealand player who, and he's now not the one with the most followers. It is that Cape Verde goalkeeper who went from like 50,000, I think 7.5 million or something.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then, Howie knew of the story, and you probably did too, Graeme, but the guy that grew up, he plays in Ireland, and he got like a LinkedIn message, wasn't it in Portuguese or something?
Yeah.
So he ignored it.
He doesn't speak Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, for all of and there's been a lot, for all of the noise and the shit that's come with this World Cup, it was a nice story, and that's what you want, a really nice story to come out. And who knows what Cape Verde might do in their next game. I mean, pretty incredible.
let me make a point, because to me, so far, this World Cup and the group stage has been about several 1-1 victories and 0-0 victories, right? Like there's so many draws that felt like victories for the teams that were supposed to get pummeled.
Congo against Portugal.
Yeah. I mean, it's
even Brazil, Morocco. I guess Morocco aren't a bad team.
Morocco are decent, yeah. Not yeah.
But there's a lot of big names that didn't get a win in their first match.
Yeah.
So how? Go ahead, Howie.
Well, yeah. Monday there were 4 draws,
and
that was the first time that's happened in the group stage for 68 years.
Wow.
Right?
How do you think the American public are receiving draws? Because that's a concept that they're not used to, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I think, the prevailing emotion is everybody's starting to root for the underdogs. So if they know they're an underdog and they can stay in a game, it's exciting, right? And real quick, I don't know if you guys happen to watch the last game last night, but I was
Colombia game.
It was the Colombia Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I had lunch. Yeah. Go tell your story.
Yeah, well, I just want it was so funny. Like it was Anthony Taylor was the ref, right? Yeah. And anyway, the last the extra time, the last 8 minutes, he let them just rip each other apart. Like people were falling on top of each other, wouldn't call a thing. And then, sure enough, that last little tumble, and then the Colombian guy gets up, sends a cross, and header for the 3rd goal. It was fantastic.
It's funny. So my managing director's here from Brisbane, and a client cancelled a lunch, and so he texts me and he's like, "The client's cancelled last minute." And I just put Colombia, Uzbekistan. So we went to the British pub. There's many in Melbourne, but the one I like is called the Charles Dickens, and they've got a big screen and they've got TVs all around, and it's a good little pub for football. So anyway, we watched it, and then we came out. And I don't know if you've been to Melbourne, but Melbourne's very famous for its laneways, meaning there's everything's a street, right? So you've got Collins Street, and then you've got Little Collins Street, and then you've got little laneways off of those little streets, and there's little wine bars, and there's little cafes. It's a really neat, cool city for that. Anyway, so we come out of the basement pub, come out this laneway, and then this laneway is chocker with all these Colombians dancing, going crazy. Game at this Latino. It was so cool. It was like, what the feeling it gives you to see that. It was really
well. And look, there's some history with Colombia in World Cups in the U.S., right? Remember '94, and the U.S. beat them, and then the person who caused the goal got assassinated later on, right? So I think it would be really fantastic if Colombia, got out of the group, made a run. I think it'd be really good for them. Yeah,
they've teed themselves up well, and Uzbekistan didn't like shame themselves. They played well. I think they just run out of legs there. But yeah, it's been a really, really good tournament, and so far. And 2 other things I wanted to touch on. You talked about Tim Payne. I actually watched the New Zealand game. I thought they played well for the lowest ranked team in the competition. And then I don't know that we can do an episode without talking about Lionel Messi. I mean, I watched that live. That bloke,
is he getting younger again?
I know. Yeah, that bloke does not age. I was like,
yeah. It's his 6th World Cup.
I text my mate and I was like, Messi's a freak.
So we were just talking about with some Spurs supporters, and we were saying that I can't remember which year it was, but the Champions League match where we played Barcelona at Wembley.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it was Rakitic and him, wasn't it?
And it was. I think it was 4-1. I think they beat us in the end. But I've never walked down Wembley Way and been happier losing just to have been there and watch him play, because it was like he's like an alien. He's not like he's human. It's incredible.
It's for me. It's a non-debate. The Ronaldo Messi conversation. It's a non-debate. I mean, it's especially now when you look how Ronaldo is carrying himself in his later years. Like the team has.
I think the rest of them are carrying him.
Correct. And
I just don't. He should not be there, should he?
100%. Portugal would be wise to drop him, and they might actually have a shot of winning this tournament, but they won't do it. Like he's captain as well. Like it's just nuts to me.
The amount of Ronaldo memes on the internet is unrivaled. Yeah. He's really getting it and including, like, I've got João, my Portuguese friend, sending me all the kind of ones in Portuguese. There's some really funny ones, like like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
They've got,
Yeah.
They've got like
Carrying him around.
Fernandez and one of the others holding him up.
So good.
Yeah.
There's been so much that's happened at this tournament for the better, finally. They were the main things I wanted to call out. And as I shared off air, I could sit and talk about World Cup and football and for hours more, but I've got to drop off in a few minutes. But Graeme and Howie, I don't know if
Shall I just go through some of the important stats?
Yeah, I think go through some of the stats. And then
so here we go. So England supporters drank 5,000 pints in a single bar.
Yeah.
Scotland supporters in Boston drank more beer and drank 3 times more beer than they took on St. Patrick's Day.
So funny. Well, and to be honest, that was my big worry about this tournament with the cost of the tickets, in that the England fans in particular, knowing the cost of living and all that, they've clearly sold cars and houses and maybe their mothers to be there. The atmosphere in Paris looked pretty good.
I can't remember that guy's name, but it's the guy he goes.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah. He sold his house to spend 7 weeks in the States. I mean, like, that's great. Not good 7 weeks, but then what?
Hey, did you see the video of the English fans at the rodeo in Fort Worth?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
So good.
All I've seen about 400 videos of Scottish fans putting traffic cones on top of statues.
But there was also footage of the Scottish fans. They went to a Boston Red Sox game.
Yes, I saw that one as well.
Flower of Scotland, and that's what you want.
Hey, I'm telling you, I think Scotland's empty right now. I think they all come over because they did the same thing in '98 when I was in France in '98. Every bar I went into in Paris was filled with Scots, and they weren't even playing. And they were playing in Marseille. Right?
Yeah,
they weren't even there.
Yeah.
The other one was really good. I really liked the Mexican and Korean fans mixing together. Was really cool as well.
Yeah. That's actually for me, that's the 11 a.m. game. So I might be able to take an early lunch and watch that in the pub. It should be a decent game. But yeah, look, I think from my perspective, to give myself to wrap up, I didn't have a great deal more to add, but if you two did, more than welcome to leave you to talk out any more points. But for me,
we can close out. I'm okay. That just two quick things. Alexi Lalas also has a very big mouth. Also talks a lot of rubbish. And I swear, if looks could kill, Zlatan would have murdered him about 6 times over every match.
Did you see the full kit wanker comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Corden it was, I think.
Yeah, about James Corden. And Omri's just like,
yeah.
What did he just say? So funny.
And the other one, I don't know, you won't have seen this, but the ITV coverage here, it's been quite good.
Ad breaks, are they?
No, they're actually doing analysis, and they have Emma Hayes, the USA women's coach, who obviously was the Chelsea coach and has won everything there is to win in women's football. She's been doing the analysis at half time. But it's really unfortunate that in the studio, they've built this like corner with a chalkboard on. So it's like, considering like Sky have got all the, special effects and like CGI balls and all. She's literally got a chalkboard and but it also the way they built the set, it looks like a kitchen. So it's a really bad look for women's football. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But she's honestly, her analysis is really, really good. When you've spent the rest of the game listening to Lee Dixon co-commentating, I can't stand. He's the most miserable, dour guy. She's excellent. She's really, really good, really knowledgeable. She talks a lot about this growing trend of the defenders taking goal kicks passing to the keeper as a way of drawing players out.
I know
space. So that she was talking about stuff like that.
The other thing England didn't adopt, which I've seen a lot of, is the kicking it almost into touch from kickoff. A lot of teams have been doing that. We didn't. We went back. I'm like, okay, cool, we're retaining possession. But yeah, look, as I said, I didn't have a great deal else. Howie, thanks so much for joining, mate. I know you've had a busy day. What's the score in the Canada-Qatar game, mate? Is it on?
It's 0-0, 10 minutes in.
I'm going to put that on my phone and get that on the train while I'm commuting into the city. But Graeme,
could be another 0-0 victory.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, we'll see.
Graeme, I don't know if you had anything else, mate, or if you want to
all good.
Close us out.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tick all the algorithms so we get in front of more supporters. And to close us out, come on, England.
Come on, England.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on closer each day.